Hi, my name is Andrian. So in this video, I'm gonna explain how to solve this Leetcode to some problem. Let's begin. Okay, let's take a moment to read the problem here. Okay, so in this problem, we are given an array of integers which called nums and integer target. We need to return indices of two numbers, which is when they add up, they will equals to the target. Okay, and we have the clue here that every input have exactly one solution, and then we cannot use the same element twice. Here. Then we can return in any order. So like in this example, we have array of nums 2, 7, 11 and 15, and then the target is 9. So the two numbers here which is equals the target is 2 and 7, which is in index 0 and index 1. When we sum the numbers of this index, we get the target numbers 9. So because we know the index of the numbers, we can return the index here. Okay. To solve this problem, I think for the straightforward solution, we can use the brute force. Like we can use the nested loop here to iterate, to checking the possibility of the numbers. But I think for this solution, we're gonna have the problem. Another problem. This solution would work, but I think the complexity would be O(n) square, which is it will taking time. If the input is bigger, or is bigger than the example here. Like if we have 100 inputs, this code will be take a long time to run. Okay. So I think I have another idea. Instead of checking every possibility, because we need for checking every possibility, we have to checking the numbers in array again and again, right? So instead of that way, we can store the scene number in arrays to the variable, like we call scene number maybe. Then we have to store that numbers into a hash map. Not only the number we store into the hash map, we need to store also the index of that number. Okay, alright. Then we need to find the, like example, we need to find the target 9 here. Then the first array number here is 2. For the first iterate, we will store this number and the indices, which is number 2, and the indices is 0. Okay. Then we need to find the complement here. Since the first iterate we don't have the the complement, not yet have the complement, so the first iterate will not find it right. We need to move the next iterate, which is 7 here, so we will check first the complement in the hash map we already stored in the previously iterate, which is 2 in the n index 0, right? So in this iterate we have 7. When we subtraction the target with the current values of the iterator, we know that the result must be 2, right? Okay, the result must be 2. Okay, so for the logic is we need to check the store, and then we need to sum with the we need to compare with the target and current iterate numbers. If it's same as the result and the subtraction of this number, we get the indices that we have to return. Okay, so let's just begin to write the code. Okay, so I'm gonna write a function with name toSum, and then we have input parameter, nums parameter here in integer, then we have target parameter here, and then we need to return the indices, right, in arrays format. Okay, so we return the array of integer here. Okay. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we need to define a variable sin, which is, like I mentioned before, we need to store the element that we already iterate, so we don't need to iterate again that number, right? So we create the hash map here, which is we need to store array, but I forget how to define hash map in Go. Let's take a look in the Google how to define hash map in Go. Okay. I have the internet problem here. Okay. Alright, just waiting for the internet, but still doesn't work. Alright, it takes too long. Is it internet problem? I'm gonna check my hotspot. Okay. Okay, so to make a hash map, we have to write like this: make, then followed by map, and key and the value. Alright, so can we to map and the value, the key and what value we want. We want to key in integer and the values in integer. Okay, so we need to write the iterate for loop here to check to iterate the numbers in array. Okay. I think we need to define loop with index, because we need to check the index. And then num, we're gonna have the value of the nums here and range from nums. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we gonna store the numbers. If the numbers, like since we need to save the array, so the key must be the value. Then we store the array here. Alright, if the nums, okay, for the next step is we have to check the complement. If the target which is like the example 9 subtraction with the num here equals to the sin in the num, the subtraction, I think it's going to be subtraction, the result of subtraction, complement. We're gonna check the complement, create the variable complement. Okay, if the complement in the already in hash map, it is mean that we have the pairing, right? Okay, so how to check the value in hash map? Okay, alright, we just need to it is how we this is the one, values and exist. Okay, values and exist. Okay. If values exist, okay, then we need to sin complement. If exists, it means that if the value exists, it means that we find the pairs, right? So we just return the integers. We just return the integer in any order, like values and index current value. Okay, alright. If we don't have the return, we can return we can just return like -1 because it's mean that we don't have the solution, but in this example, in this statement actually exactly have one solution. Okay, so we check again for loop, and then we need to store the index here. If complement target min num, which is example like we have target 9, and then we gonna use this example target 9, and then we want to check every possible, right? It means the first iterate will be numbers 2, then we're gonna save the numbers 2 into the hash map. Numbers 2, we get the index, which is index 0, then we check the complement here. The complement should be 7 right here, because we have target number is 9 and the current number is 2, which is the complement should be 7, because 7 doesn't exist in the in the hash map, so we need to move to next iteration, okay, which is 7, and then we store the number 7 into the hash map, the index, which is 1, then we find the complement, which is 2, right? Because then 9 minus 2 is minus 7 is 2. If you remember previous iteration, we have stored the number 2, which is in index 0, right? So actually we found the complement here. We found the pairing of the two numbers of the indices. Okay, I think then if the value exists, we just return the index of the of each pair. Alright, okay, I think this solution gonna be work here. Then we just need to run to check the answer. I think I have the wrong how to use. I need to check how to fill array in calling. How to fill array in calling. Oh, I see. Net integer. Oh, we have to define the length. So we because we only need to sum, right? We can define this array of two length here. Alright. Why this doesn't work? Let me think for a while. I think how to store. This is how we store the numbers. Wait 1 minute. Integers. Okay, so I just wrong how to use it. I'm gonna fix it. Okay, 2. This is should be 2. Then if we run, it should be work right now. cannot use values as integer. How to use I think it should be like this. Yeah. Okay. We just got wrong answer for the case 2. What is the case 2? Target 6, output 0 and 0. I'm gonna check first why this not work for this example. If we have target 6 and then expected 1 and 2, right? So it means the number does not found. Okay, target 6 and the nums is 3 to 4. We have target 6, then example like we store 3 here, then we got index 0. Okay, then we subtract the 6 with 3 and we're gonna have 2. We're gonna have 2, right? We're gonna have 2. Sorry, 4. We're gonna have 4 here, and then we're gonna have 4. Zero and 0. Why? I know what this problem is. If we use this logic, for example, like 3 here in index 0, right? We already store here 0, and then target, which is 6 minus 3 is 3. Then we already store the number 3 here, so it means the value is exists, right? So we cannot use we cannot store the value and above of the complement check, so we can just store after the checking number. Alright, okay, I think this is gonna be work here right now. Okay, just submit the code, and then yeah, we just solve this solution right here. Okay, I think that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.